Here is the peony bed, one of them, that we planted out with the lettuce and the interplanting of the scallions. So that's coming along very nicely. Here's some Walla Walla onions we did from seed. And here are the two types of spinach that I planted this year. The back is a hybrid. So let's see, what's the tag say? The back is the Salad Select. And this front is also a hybrid, is Palco. So we're going to see how both of those do. And the one that I have planted in the container is Teton spinach. So here's the carrots that came up, the Scarlet Nantes that we planted. I did thin those out a little bit. I may have to do them one more time. There's Parade Bunching Onion. We have last year's parsley in the herb bed. The bouquet dill has done fabulous. I did 2 plantings of that because none were coming up. Now I'll have tons of it for when I do pickles. The chives are just about ready to flower. These are so beautiful even just like that. We have some red vein sorrel. I will probably let this go to seed in this bed this year. And here's some of the new parsley that I planted this year. I expect this parsley plant to go to seed this year. It's a biennial. And just look at my oregano. This is the most fabulous thing. I don't know why I've never grown it until the past couple years. It's wonderful, fresh in salads, on macaroni salad, with just you can cook the macaroni, put a little mayonnaise, come out to your garden, cut some fresh oregano, whatever other herbs you have, throw that on there. It's just fabulous fresh. And then you can also dry it. Here's our cilantro that came up in this container. And here are all of the volunteers that are growing from seed from 2 years ago, which just amazes me that it would come back. Here's the first bucket of potatoes. They do look a little spindly and a little crooked because I did have to take this flower pot and put it over top while the risk of frost was there. I didn't want to worry since they were so large. So they were covered up for a couple days because of the frost and because I was at my Zone 7 garden. The garlic is looking fabulous. It's growing very well. I'm really excited about that. And here is where the basil plant was touched by frost. So even though it didn't have a cover and some of the leaves were touched by frost, I think the plant itself is going to be just fine. Here's how some of the tomatoes are doing. And look at this. This sage plant is going to seed. I've never seen it flower or go to seed. So I'm so excited about this. I really can't wait to show you once it opens up. Some of our spinach here is beginning to go to seed, but that's okay. We'll get those leaves harvested. Here's the wild arugula. That overwintered, and it is also beginning to go to seed, so I need to get those harvested. And here is our 7-top turnip that I'm saving the seeds from. Can you see them in these pods? Once they turn yellow-brown, they'll be filled with the tiny seeds. And that was a heritage open pollinated seed that I grew from seed to plant, so I can collect those seeds. And I have taken down the other brassicas that were going to seed because I wanted these seeds. And here are the two tomato plants. They're both Eckert Polish, I believe. Yes. And they did have a cover around them, but not over the top of them. And see, that's how frost tender the basil is. The basil was affected, but it does not look like the plants actually were. Here is the roughneck golden tiger, the one that was left out in the first frost. As you can see, the plant itself looks fine. There's no brown leaves, no black leaves, nothing died off, so I'm fairly certain that plant will be fine. There's our garlic that had been left outdoors. Here are, and they're a little bit beaten, the jade green beans. They did all germinate, but a little chippy has been going around and plucking them off. So I'm going to have to plant some more, and I think there looks like some slug damage, as you can see on that leaf and on those. They should be bigger leaves. So I'll go through and I'll put in some more seed there and perhaps put a cover on them and a little bit of the slug pellets down so the slugs don't get them. Now we're up in the currant garden. Here are the jade green beans, and they are also suffering a bit, I believe, from slug damage. So somebody's been feasting on them, and I'll have to put down more slug pellets. I still have the tomatoes under cover, and I just wanted to show you from this angle. I did feed them yesterday. I probably can uncover them today, which I will do after I'm done filming, because we're supposed to have decent weather for the next 10 days. This is the time of year where you keep a very close eye on your weather. Here are the lovely cabbages. Hardly any holes. This guy in the back has some slug damage, but that's okay. I'm going to get some slug pellets in there. But they are growing just wonderfully. I fed them yesterday with fish fertilizer. It's a liquid that you just feed them. You mix it in your watering can. And here are the currant bushes, still under cover, but we were able to get our netting up to keep the birds out. I was so concerned because the bushes are just so laden with fruit this year. I really wanted to have them for us and not for the birds, but you can see on some of the strands the fruit has been picked off. So I think I covered them in time with the bird netting. It was a little bit of a chore, but we got it done, and I hope to be very pleased with a nice harvest of those. Here's our carrots. Danvers half long. We had 2 spots that didn't sprout, but that's okay. This one looks like it's coming up late right there. There are more Walla Walla onions I had started from seed in the house. Here are the shallots, and if you notice, you could see the separate shoots coming out now, and eventually those will split. That's what I was talking about. They'll look like a flower almost. They'll fall flat, and the bulb will split into separate bulbs. So here are some flat of Egypt beets, and as we can see, somebody's been in here. I don't know if it was a frog, or rather a toad, or a chippy, so I may have to put those covers back on here. And here are some radishes. These are Oplanka radishes. We'll pull them out. This one has some slug damage on it, but you could see just a little bit of a difference in what these look like compared to the French breakfast. Pull those out, and we'll get this guy up here. That way we can replant this square. Okay, so and here we are at the main garden bed. This is what I meant when I said I put the tomato cage down on its side so I could put the frost fleece on top. And I did clip it with clothespin pins. But these are the Siberians. They're supposed to be able to take the cold, and they look like they're doing very well. They were fed yesterday with fish feed. And these 2 heads of lettuce right here, actually overwintered. I did put some lettuce in this area in the fall, and look at how gorgeous they are. So that'll make a nice harvest today too. Here's another look at some of the tomatoes. They've done fine. They're doing fine. Now this little basil was also covered, but very frost sensitive, so it does have some frost damage on it, but I think the tomatoes are going to be fine. They do look a little bit yellow. It could possibly be that they did need the feed I just gave them. We'll keep an eye on them. Here are Polish Giant, and there you could see again on that basil there is some frost damage. There are our kohlrabi, and if you notice, try and get in a little closer, there are our kohlrabi that we planted, and they are beginning to bulb. So I'm really excited about that. These are Jersey Devil. They are a little bit small. I don't know if they're supposed to stay smaller, but perhaps they are. Here's garlic that overwintered outside in this bed. Looks like it's doing much better than the other one that overwintered outside. So this area probably gets more sun in the winter then. And here's a Cherokee Purple. Here's our lovely Anise Hyssop. This is gorgeous when it flowers and the bees just love it. I transplanted that over here. There's another Cherokee Purple and a third Cherokee Purple. And the last area we're going to look at today, this is where the lettuce was planted up in the top bed. Seems to be doing fine. Here's the rest of that Copenhagen cabbage. I haven't had a chance yet to put the cover on, but it seems to be doing okay. So we're still going to get a nice crop from those. And I've pretty much finished where I'm going to plant the corn. Corn will go out in another 2 weeks. And then I still need to work on this area for the beans. I believe we're cutting down this birch tree, so that's why I haven't done anything with that area. The irises are getting ready. They have their stalks for their flowers, and if you've never seen them get ready to bloom, they're so neat because they're almost flat and they just give you such a gorgeous flower. So some of these are from my mother's garden. Some of them I've bought and put in over the years. And there needs to be quite a bit of cleanup up here. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the tour around the garden. I hope you'll give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe to My Hillside Garden. Have a good day. Happy gardening.